Hey everyone, this is Coloring Chemist. My name is Connie and welcome back to my channel. I thought that I would do a flip through today. One of these is, do you call it Happy Mail? It was sent to me by the illustrator, and I know I've seen lots of other folks show this on their channel, and she reached out to me, it's Lalita Iyer, and asked if I would like a copy of the book as well, and she was very sweet. So I wanted to do a flip through of that. And this was a total surprise. Now, I purchased this. I actually pre-ordered it. And I pre-ordered it directly through, was it Schiffer Books? Which is, I think that's where you pre-ordered it. It's Better Day Books is who published it. But it was Schiffer Books, I think, that you could pre-order through. Now, you could pre-order through Amazon as well, but I went and pre-ordered through, there was like a window of time where you could pre-order this book, but I thought it wasn't being released until, it said August 28th. So I was thinking, okay, yeah, it was end of August, I'll get a hold of it. But it showed up the other day. In fact, yesterday? No, day before. Where am I? I'm filming this on July 27th, and it was like Thursday, so maybe the 25th, 24th, 25th. I was in shock because I thought this wasn't going to be released until the end of August. So I don't know if anyone else got their pre-releases from Schiffer Books. But I am dying to take a look at this. So yeah, I think we'll do Lalita's book first, and then we will take a look at Emelie's book. Or Emelie? Yeah. All right, so we'll put Emelie's book aside. And, sorry, I have too many things on my desk here. This is a book that, like I say, Lalita reached out to me through email. She was very lovely. In fact, she offered this book, and, when I asked her, what would you like me to do? Would you like me to, do a flip through, she basically said, a flip through showing colored pages would all be lovely, but she just wanted me to enjoy the book, which I thought that was really, really sweet. And I definitely am planning on doing some coloring in here. But like I say, I just went to my post office box and picked up things. I think it was Thursday, and this was there. So I haven't really had time to choose a page or do anything like that first. This is a softcover book, but it's not Amazon printed, which is really nice. It's printed by Page Street Publishing. It says explore the wondrous world of Zen Doodle, and then there's some text there. You can pause this and zoom in and read it if you like. I'll put a link down below as well. Woo! But there's the ISBN if you would like it. And yeah, it's just a really, really, I like Zendoodly things. I know they're not everybody's favorite, and that's okay. I like little teeny details. I like Zendoodly, so I was pretty excited to get this book. And it's printed so that when I open the cover, can you see what sort of happens there? It's like the spine of the cover, not the spine of the pages inside, but the spine of the cover isn't glued on, but it is glued onto this, so that when you open it, it comes away. And that's not a flaw. It doesn't mean that it was, not glued properly. But what it means is it sits a lot flatter when you open it, sort of right away, which is really nice. And then it's got this lovely blue interior there. There's your title page, Enchanted Creatures. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, Lalita. Iyer? Iyer? I-Y-E-R. Creator of Meraki. So yeah, it just sits really flat, which is nice. The paper, like I say, it's not Amazon paper. It's nice, thick paper. And I know you guys have seen tons of flip-throughs of this, I'm sure. But I just wanted to give Lalita the time and the credit that's due. This is her first coloring book, so gives me like sort of older Joanna Basford vibes combined with like maybe Melpomene, Chatspanigotu vibes with some other, I mean, it's definitely hand drawn. It's not, this is Lolita's own artwork, but yeah, it's very fine lines. So I am wondering, and I actually haven't tried. You know, let's just, give me a second here. Something in behind. I'm just curious to see, because normally with tiny little spaces like that, you know me, what am I going to use? Pit pens or Stettler pigment pens. So I'm just curious to see if they go through. So this is one of the new Stettler pens. This is Olive Dark. So I just want to do, I'm not even going to do any blending. And I'll get you in to show you. They're quite fine. Ooh. Sorry about that. So you can see, yeah, they might even be too fine spaces for. The nice thing about the pigment pens, both the Pitt pens and the Stettler pens, particularly when they're new, they have a very, very pointy tip. And so you can get into those fine spaces where normally you would just be able to, the only thing you'd be able to get in there with is either a really sharp pencil or like a fine liner. I do have some that I've been using for quite a while, and the tips do kind of fray after a while because they are just fiber tips. Do I see? Sorry, I'm you can't see, can you? I was just checking, I was flipping the page there just to see. Now, I wasn't doing any blending or anything, but I was just trying to see if it would, if it automatically went through, then I would know that, I don't see it go through. I see it like maybe a tiny bit of ghosting. It's not super smooth paper, which means that, yeah, well, you know what, let's try a little blend here. It means that the fibers on the surface of the paper are not as pressed, and so, although it does feel pretty smooth, sometimes that means that you've got little fibery bits kind of more sticking up, and that will grab onto the ink and kind of pull it in, and that tends to be, if you have thicker paper but you're still finding that, you know, things like the Pitt pens or the Stettler pens goes through, it's probably because the paper is not really smooth, so it's kind of the little fibery, sticky, uppy bits on the surface of the paper are kind of grabbing the ink and really sucking it in, whereas smooth paper, the ink kind of almost more sits on the surface. Yeah, let's try, since I started some green there anyway. Let's put down, well, you know what, let's try it. I'm going to do one way of blending here. So, the way I have of blending is to put my dark down, then kind of go over it with my medium, and then go over it all with my light. So at the bottom there, I'm putting down, you know, that's a lot of layers of ink, right, at the bottom. And then the other way I have of doing it, I cover the whole area with the lightest ink first. And then I put my dark down. Medium. And the reason I do that is because sometimes putting down a layer of the light first, particularly with the Stettler pens, or more so the Stettler pens than the Pitt pens, I would say. The whatever it is, whether it be glycerin, I'm not sure, but something in the formulation of the ink almost creates like a kind of a little slick surface. And so then you can get the ink to move more. And just depending on which blend do I like better. We'll let them dry, but I'm just curious to see. Oh no, there you go. So I colored right there. There's maybe the tiniest hint of ghosting. It does not feel like it has pilled the paper. Like, it doesn't feel rough. It doesn't feel like the paper was fighting me. I almost like the blend that I got doing the first technique better. By the way, if you were curious about the colors I was using, my lightest was willow green, then olive green, then olive dark. Interesting. Sorry, little side bar there, doing a little tiny bit of coloring. I was just curious to see what Pitt pens, or actually they're not Pitt pens, they're Stettler pens, aren't they, would do. Cool. That is cool, because like I say, the details in here, the line work is a lot of it is very close together, and so having that really fine point on the Stettler pens or Pitt pens that's gonna help. So here we have the table of contents, and she's got beautiful birds, water beasts, into the woods, and pretty little flying insects. So it's kind of broken into 4 parts. Introduction. She's talking about her love for animals. Sorry, I could read that, but yeah. Zendoodle style creatures. It's a pretty page. Florals there. And then we're into the images. So it's effectively one-sided. And then she's got the title of the art on the other side. So, I mean, yeah, even if it did bleed through, it's not going to be that big a deal. You could certainly use alcohol markers. The line work is very fine, though, so I don't know how well alcohol markers would work, because even with the littlest bit of bleeding, right, it's going to bleed into the next section, I would imagine. So what I can do is, just so you can see, I'm just going to come in a bit and kind of center, ooh, too much, because you don't really need to see, right, this page. So this is called Elegance of a Hummingbird. Again, Zendoodle. And, you know, if you look at Zendoodle images and they turn you off, like I say, that's okay. But don't forget that you don't have to color all those Zendoodle, the line work of the Zendoodling, right? You don't have to. If you would like, you can just sort of ignore it and just color that as though it were an empty space and do your shading right over top and let the line work provide its own visual interest through what you've colored. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if I just sort of pretended that that space right there was empty and did some shading, either with my pens or pencils or whatever, you'll be able to see that line work through the coloring that I've done, and it just sort of provides its own visual interest without coloring each little individual element, if that makes sense. I mean, it's very pretty. Mysterious owl. I like that, because it's got like a little potions thing. And of course, for those of you that don't know, although you probably all do by now, I'm a chemistry teacher. For the very first moment I read Harry Potter, I remember saying to my daughter, you realize potions is chemistry class, right? Snape was effectively the chemistry instructor, the chemistry teacher at Hogwarts. So, yeah. Potions, it's chemistry. Very pretty. I'm just looking at all the detail. All these little kind of dots and bubbles. That's what's giving me the Melpomene vibes. Toucan, I think. Yes, magical beak of a toucan. Grace of a peacock. There's some new colors. The Stettler pens have those 24 new colors, which I know not available in the States yet, but you can get them through Amazon Germany or Amazon UK. Amazon Germany, I think, has better pricing, and you are going to have to pay for shipping. But those 24 new colors, they included some really beautiful bluey greens. Like, what's this one here? That's the new one. Petrol blue. Yeah, there's a whole trio. 2 of these are old. So the mint and the turquoise were in the original 36 set, and now we have teal, and the 3 of those together are just a really lovely blending trio of blue-greens. So thinking for the peacock. Charmed by a cardinal. This is a very Christmassy picture, right? Because you've got, not necessarily, but you've got a poinsettia, you've got holly, you've got some pine. So that would be lovely. We have cardinals here. I know those of you who have been watching my channel for a while, I do occasionally, I haven't done it in a while. Well, that's because I had to put my bird feeders away because of bears. But I was showing some footage last fall and over the winter of just birds because I was feeding them just sort of right outside my window. Cardinals aren't traditionally birds that come this far north, but they've been seen in the area. I've not seen them at my house, and the only time they were seen, I think, was in the summer, not the winter. Cardinal in the snow, that would be stunning. Stunning. So you could have like a snowy background here. And again, all the Zendoodle, you wouldn't have to, you could just do your red and with shading over top and just let the Zendoodle provide a little bit of, like I say, visual interest. Roaring rooster. So that's kind of almost like a fall scene. They were just haying my property just last few days, actually. Supremacy of a swan. Those I think are probably water lilies, maybe? Those are blooming on the lakes around where I am. Fabulous flamingo. Those are definitely not here. But they're very cool birds. More tropical foliage. Kingfisher, the huntress. We do have kingfishers here. There's water lilies there. So those are water lilies. So I don't know what those are. Yeah, that... maybe. Dragonflies. Kingfishers are beautiful birds. Parrot, beauty from the Amazon. Those are lilies. Those are orchids. And then, so that was the birds, right? And then, because it was sections. So that was beautiful birds, and now water beasts. Mighty turtle with sort of, so this is, oh, who is the, is it Kanoko Ogusa? I mean, I think there's a couple different illustrators where there's like sort of foliage growing out of the animals. So this turtle has all kinds of underwater foliage on his back. Whistling of a whale. That would be a neat opportunity for background stuff there. Stencils. Manta ray floating to the horizon. Oh, that's cool. So there's like a horizon sort of on the ray itself. fondness of koi. So koi fish. Again, tiny, tiny zen-doodly details, but you don't have to color them all. You can just let the line art be and just use that as one big space. Jellyfish, magical entanglement. Those jellyfish have some very fancy tendrils. Captivating crab. Mystical seahorses. I like seahorses. Did you know? You probably did. It's the seahorse male that is pregnant. It's not the female. It's the... and you can correct... I'm not a biologist, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I remember reading that. It's the seahorse male that actually carries the young. Dancing dolphins. Some flying fish. That's cool. Psychedelic octopus. Octopi are extremely intelligent. Where did I think I read that certain... Actually, I don't even know if it's certain... maybe it's all octopi, but they have the intelligence of, was it a 7 or 8 year old child? I mean, they've escaped. They're famous escape artists in captivity. They can unlock things. They can open doors. Yeah. Sealing the depths of the ocean. Seals are very cute. So now we're in, was this woodland creatures? Into the woods. And then pretty little flying insects. Okay. So they're spellbound by a squirrel. That gives me fall vibes. You've got the mushrooms and the acorns. Oh, sorry, I got distracted there. The butterfly just landed on the window in front of me. It's very hot here today. Luckily, I do have central air conditioning. I know, which seems weird in central Canada. You're like, why would you have air conditioning? But it gets, well, okay, not hot like southern U.S. hot. But I think the high here today is 30 Celsius. What is that? This is in the 90s. And then the Humidex makes it feel like 38 or 39, which I think is over 100, isn't it? Maybe? So yeah, it gets hot here. I mean, it also gets very, very cold. We have between summer and winter, it's pretty extreme temperature differences. Snail and mesmerizing mushrooms. Very nice. Those look like coneflowers. Echinacea. Fascinating tale of a fox. So the fox has a very fancy tail. But again, gives me, I mean, she's even got, falling leaves here, the acorns, just a very, I think, fall vibe. Fall is my absolute favorite season. Autumn, fall. And so even when you see my completed pages at the end of July, you'll see there's fall. there's fall colors that are already sneaking into my pages. They may not be fall pages, but fall colors are sneaking in. I'm not a fan of the heat. And so, yeah, I'm sneaking some fall colors in there already. Tiger, jungle fierceness. Elegant elephant. Some hummingbirds. Deer's whimsical antlers. This is stitch bound. I don't know if you can see the stitching there, so that's good. We know that it's not going to fall apart. I haven't seen too many deer in my yard lately. I mean, they were coming for the bird seed, right? And because I had to stop feeding the birds, because I didn't want bears in my yard, then the deer are just in the bush, in the forest, eating there. Panda and its bamboo love. Pandas do like their bamboo. Majestic wolf. We do have wolves around here. More coyotes. Coyotes. But wolves too. Beguiling grizzly bear. We do not have grizzlies. We have black bears. So the bears that I'm worried about are not grizzlies. But, it's not that I'm afraid, black bears rarely attack humans. So it's not that I was afraid, the black bear would force its way into my house and hurt me. But they do a lot of damage because they're big. And I didn't want a bear, tearing down all the feeders. And then once a bear figures out that there's food, they're not going to leave it alone. Winsomeness of a rabbit. That's an interesting picture. I was going to say it kind of gives me fall vibes because you've got the leaves, the maple, oak. But then you've got roses and sunflowers. You got acorns here, mushrooms. There's pumpkins. So, I don't know. Like a late summer fall vibe, maybe? That's kind of neat. I mean, you know what? You could do whatever you like. Beetle blissfulness. So this was the insect section at the very end there. I gotta say, I'm not a fan of bugs. I don't know that I would seek them out to color. If I did, I would probably have to just make them very whimsical and things like a Luna moth, butterflies. I mean, they're pretty. We just have so many biting insects here, Central Canada, that I think they tend to overshadow the nice, pretty insects like ladybugs and things like that. Particularly this year, it's been very wet, and so much rain just means that the mosquitoes and the black flies and the deer flies and the horse flies and the stable flies and the no-see-ums are just awful. And so, you go outside and you just get bit up. So, not too happy with bug situation this year. But moths are beautiful. Butterflies, dragonflies. I wish there seems to not be very many dragonflies this year, which doesn't make any sense because normally if there's a lot of mosquitoes, there's a lot of dragonflies. But which is maybe contributing to part of the mosquito problem. I'm not seeing dragonflies. It says dragonfly delightfulness. They are delightful because they eat mosquitoes. Luminous ladybug. They eat aphids, which is good. Bee witching honeycomb. Do have bumblebees here. And there are places around here that have honeybees. Butterfly of floral magic. So you've got the butterfly's wings made up of flowers. That's cool. And that's it. And then she's got some acknowledgements. Just thanking her family and friends. And Page Street Publishing. And then a little about the artist there. She's a Mumbai-based illustrator and graphic designer. I like that color. It's a beautiful color, isn't it? So there we go. This is Enchanted Creatures, by Lalita Iyer as a doodle coloring book. Come out a bit because now we've got a bigger book. So thank you very much, Page Street Publishing and Lalita, for sending me this book. I'm definitely going to have to choose an image and dig in. And the second book I wanted to flip is this beauty. Sorry, there's the shininess there. This, of course, is Fairy Tales and Folklore coloring book by Emelie Lidehäll Öberg. She is a Swedish artist, and this is a reprint, but with some difference, of her, I think it was her first coloring book, and it was Sagor Sägner. Is that right? I don't have it. And of course, it was becoming impossible to find. And the lovely Claire here on YouTube put out a petition to get it reprinted, and Better Day Books, yes, Better Day Books, discovered the petition, and I mean, the magic happened. So thank you to Claire, thank you to Emelie, and thank you to Better Day Books for bringing this book back. So this is, like I say, it's that was a free gift that came with the pre-order from Schiffer Books. So especially for you. So it's just basically an image that I can color. I just want to check here. It should say, yeah, it's a reprint of I know I'm not saying that right. Sagor, Sägner. Sorry for you Swedish folk. That was very bad. So it's got those images plus some new images. This is a thick book. I mean, that's a honkin' thick book. I'm just looking here. Just in comparison. I mean, not that it's fair to necessarily compare. This is Stjärnfall. So Starfall, Falling Star from Maria Trolle. So this is her most recent book, although she does have a new one coming out. And take this out for a second. I'll show you the thickness of this one. So if you guys are familiar with that, versus the thickness of Fairy Tales and Folklore. I would say this is almost double the thickness. So, and they're close to the same size. Fairy Tales and Folklore is a little bit bigger. I should have a ruler, but I don't. So yeah, just the tiniest hint, maybe a 1/4 inch wider and a 1/4 inch taller. And beautiful, beautiful color, or cover. Sorry, I'm having trouble with words today. So it's got this, I love this color palette. It's like this dark fur green. I know it looks gray on camera, but it's not. It's this background is like this really dark, beautiful kind of fur green, and then it's got these gorgeous sort of fall colors in the coloring, and then gold. So there's a gold stripe across the top, gold lettering on the cover, and then just hints of gold here and there. So it's a magical journey inspired by Scandinavian fables. Now it's a little confusing because, hang on, where do I have it? She does have another book. I'm just trying to see where I put it. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. She does have another book called Fairy Tales. So this is Fairy Tales by Emelie Lidehäll Öberg. And this is a soft cover. And it's square. It's like sort of Joanna Basford size-ish book. And this was published in 2017. And I think maybe the Sägner was before this, if I'm correct. I could be wrong on that. So this is called Fairy Tales, and this new one, which is the reprint of Sägner, is Fairy Tales and Folklore. So that's a little confusing. This is hardback, whereas the other one and the original Sägner was also softcover. So this is now hardback book. Maybe you can see the fur green a little. It still looks gray on camera. It's a beautiful color. I love that color. So there's your title page. And there is your nameplate page. Now, Claire did a, it's Color with Claire here on YouTube. Claire Edie, is that how you say your name, Claire? Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. She did a side-by-side comparison on her channel, so definitely check that out because she has the old Sägner, and she did, side-by-side to say what's new and what's not. I don't have the old one, so I don't know. So this has 102 images to color. I mean, it's a big book. But yeah, we can say thank you to Claire and to Emelie and to Better Day Books for allowing us to, for those of us that didn't catch it the first time around, we now have a chance to own those images plus more. So there's a meet the author. So I won't read all that out. If you guys get this book, you can certainly read it for yourself. She is on Emelie's on Instagram, so you can find her there. But I mean, there's images, even a little image to color here. That's color. She just talks about Swedish and Scandinavian folk tales and how it inspired her. The paper. Ooh, I'm loving the feel of this paper. I won't do another coloring on here. It's smooth. It's thick. Right? It almost feels like card. And so, cross fingers. I'm hoping that my beloved Pitt pens and Stettler pens will work well. Now, I will say those pens are tougher for large areas like this. For large areas like this, I will often switch to pencil when I'm doing coloring because they are water-based, even though they're pigment inks. And in big areas like this, they're going to be streaky. So in large areas, I will often switch to pencil. I'm not a big fan of coloring people. So, not necessarily an image that I would color anyway. Maybe this one. But yeah. Some underwater. The in a bottle coloring theme seems to be hot right now, so that's kind of neat. A mermaid in a bottle. I love her trolls. My background, my heritage is part Scandinavian. My mother's family came from Sweden in late 1800s, came to Canada. And my dad himself was born in Germany and came to Canada with his family when he was 16. So, yeah, Scandinavian, Swedish in particular, is part of my heritage. Trolls, a princess. I don't know the stories that these images are based on. Sorry, the lighting here is really... What if I turned this off? Does that help? Make it better? Worse? What if I turn this one off? Oh, that's better. What if I turn this? I have 3 lights on. That actually might be better. Is that better? Maybe a little shadowy. Here, we'll go back and we'll take a look at... You guys might have seen these images already, but I think that might be better. Yeah. It's kind of an overcast day today, but the lighting sort of keeps changing. And of course, I'm right in front of a window here, so... This one looks Christmassy. You've got some Christmas baubles there and a little mouse, the crown. Again, I'm sure it's a folktale or a fairy tale. This one looks like it's like a little mouse party because they've got little hats on. This is a cake or a cupcake, some strawberries, donuts. Looks like an elf maybe with the ears. That's very cute. So you've got like a bag that has been turned into like a backpack or just a shoulder bag that's been turned into a house, a little mouse house, because it has stairs and a door and a soup can. They're using for I don't know if that's it's like a little hot tub, a little soup can hot tub for mice. And a deer. I like how she draws her animals. The line art for human is solid, but for animals, it's like this little dashed lines. See that? Woo! You see on the deer and on the mouse, it's like, it's that indication of fur, right? I think that's neat. It's just a beautiful book, and the paper feels beautiful. And I'm excited to have it. Like I say, I did not have the originals, so and I'm really, really surprised. I was not expecting it till the end of August. I don't know why it showed up. Elf cuddling with a mouse. Again, Christmassy, we've got candy cane, bells. That looks like something I would do right now. That just is calling to me. You've got the wooden bucket, and then you've got like a ripe sunflower and different flowers. Okay, I'll have to remember that image. We'll see if that's the one I do. Princess. And mice in little teacup boats. I'm really curious to see how this paper does with the Pitt pens. That almost looks like a... I mean, it could be summery, right? You've got a lighthouse. This looks like fall or winter. This looks like... I feel like I should know what this is, but I don't. Like a gnome? And a little mouse with a little sweater and a scarf. That's cute. Does she have a list in the back? No, I thought maybe she did. Of which fairy tales they were. Trolls. A woman cuddling a fawn, a baby deer. This is an underwater kind of thing, so maybe like a mermaid face, because we've got fish, jellyfish. This, I think, is underwater too, because this looks like coral. And that's a sea urchin, I think. Sorry if it's all shadowy now. See, now the lighting outside changed. Oh. This looks very wintry. We've got like an ice queen kind of a thing. And her hair is kind of wrapped around and got snowflakes. Cakes with strawberries. Cherry, so you could practice coloring your fruits. Polar bear? Maybe? With a sweater? Could be. You know what? You could make it a polar bear. Bird, the cherry blossoms, maybe? Bird with a crown. That gives me that Hannah Carlson kind of feel. Which, I mean, it's not surprising. They're both Swedish, and, you know, there's a certain kind of Scandinavian folk art style that they probably both share, you know, in terms of where their roots are coming from. Sea dragon, sea monster, a woman in some florals. This looks like a bottle of some kind, like it could be like rock crystal, but I don't know what these are. Just rocks, maybe? I don't know. If I knew the fairy tale, that would be probably help me, but I'm not sure. This looks like a princess again. She's got mittens on, so maybe it's cold. Gathering something. Animals. This looks very summery too. Sort of end of summer, right? Because you've got the preserves in the jars. And some bunnies. That bunny's being very bad. You've got a bunny bum here. Digging in the basket for heaven knows what. This is springish. Although where I live, we don't really get strawberries until like late June, July, which is not exactly spring, but you've got a strawberry kind of plant kind of weaving around, and then you've got, I was just thinking Easter eggs, but it could be any eggs there. Spring summery kind of thing. like that. I like that one too. Yeah, I just don't tend to color faces. I don't tend to color people. The images are beautiful, and there will definitely be some gorgeous colored images on Facebook, I'm sure, once everybody gets their hands on this book. Yeah, but I probably won't. You never know. I've said that before, but then I've also said I should try and push the envelope and stretch my coloring. I don't know. We'll see. Baby deer fawn with the spots. Troll again. I think it's a troll. Maybe it's a witch. I just assumed things with that kind of a nose were trolls. There's a magical cat. That's the cat. Wasn't that on... Is that the same cat? Yeah, I think it's just reversed. So that there... Cat with a scarf and some jewels. And then a lovely kind of crystal ball. A magical cat. Is this a frog prince? I mean, I don't know if that's a Scandinavian fairy tale as well. It's an English one. Bulrushes. That's neat. So this is like a vase, but it looks like a can, like reminds me of like a milk can. You know, like on those old tall, I have one outside, it's all rusty, but the old milk cans when they used to bring the milk to the dairies, and you can use them as planters. And it's got like little houses in there. Troll king, maybe. Rabbit with a house on it. That's neat. You've got a mouse inside like a snow globe, but with flowers instead of like a winter scene. It is pretty. I'd be more likely to color this than like a big face. Like, we're just coming up on halfway here, guys. Sorry, this is a very long video, but you know me, my chatty videos. But it's a huge book with just a ton of just beautiful images. You've got a bird with a key there. This is very springish. I mean, I'm assuming that's the Easter Bunny, because you've got Easter eggs here. You've got, those look like crocuses, some grape hyacinths. Nest with, again, some Easter eggs and some crystals and keys, and that's cool. There's a necklace through there, birds. Oh, frog and a mouse. I should know that, shouldn't I? Some of these fairy tales, I see the pictures and something deep in my memory sparks, but I can't think. I feel like I should know that story. The mouse has like a little sack tied on a stick. It's running away from home, maybe. This mouse has a coffee pot house with a teacup. Again, could be a hot tub, could be a little bath. And we've got strawberry plants. Octopus. Folks and their imaginations just astound me. I mean, I could never imagine this stuff. My brain just doesn't work that way. I love coloring it. I could never, well, I can't draw anyway, but even there's the drawing aspect and the imagination aspect. I have neither. So this is like a gnome sleeping, and that looks like an ermine, because it looks like she's trying to indicate in the winter, because the gnome has mittens on, and this looks like mistletoe. So in the winter, weasels would be another term, but ermine will be white, and then they'll have a black tip on their tail. We do have those here. These look like pussy willows, and again, eggs, so this, springtime-ish. Sorry, I keep noticing seasons. I'm a very seasonal colorist. I love books that are seasonal. I just do. And even in books like this, where it's not one season, I like looking for the seasons within the images. That's very pretty. Here we've got a whale in the middle of florals. That's cool. Otters? Maybe. I mean, it could be cats, but for some reason I'm getting like an otter vibe. My apologies, Emily, if they're not. And then the florals. And here these could be ermines again. Could be foxes too, actually. Because foxes would have reddish and then white on the end of their tail. So that's true. That could be foxes too. The other one reminded me... No, that's a fox. An ermine would have smaller ears. It would have rounded ears too. Okay, so she's probably drawing foxes. There's deer with apples. Kind of wreath kind of thing. That is a moose. I know what moose look like because we have them here. They have this very big droopy nose and like a beardy thing almost underneath. And they have antlers, but their antlers are very different than deer or... Oh, sorry, that's shadow there. Very different than deer or... Caribou might be the closest, but I would say that's a moose. And I think in Sweden they do have moose too. That gives me kind of fall vibes. The acorns and the mushrooms. There's strawberries again and some other berries. Those could be blueberries. There's raspberries. Apples. Mice reading a story all tucked in their little armchair. That's very cute. And this looks like Christmas because you've got the ornaments and like a little baby deer but with a horn. It's like a unicorn deer. See? Imagination. I would never think to do that. That's amazing. I want to say Little Red Riding Hood, but I don't know if that's a Scandinavian folktale. They might have something similar. I don't know. And this little mouse that's traveling. Oh, there's so many images in here that are just so beautiful. I don't know where to start. Oh, now it's rumbling thunder outside. Florals with women there. Horse. Sleeping Beauty. Again, I'm not sure if that's a Scandinavian folktale. A lot of these Scandinavian looking houses, I like that. And then we've got, I like the florals too. Here we've got like a, is it a cloche? I think that's what they call it. Like a glass thing that goes over top and you can put things inside for display. And then it looks like perfume bottles, some paintbrushes, a cup full of berries. It's like a mirror, like the backside of a mirror. You could make that. I like using pit pens to do like an antique gold effect. King of the Sea, Neptune. Here it looks like we've got some toys. Some little elves making toys or yeah. Pearl in a oyster. Dragon, that's very cool. Dragon kind of wrapped around the house here and then on some rocks here. Some sea creatures. These look like water lilies again. Houses and flowers. There's an owl and some butterflies and some mushroom houses. Those look like lily of the valley, maybe? A snake. I do like snakes. I don't like insects, but I don't mind snakes. There's a really pretty wreath. Could be roses, could be peonies. Some berries in there as well. I really love coloring florals. I do. So this the floral pages tend to be the ones that appeal to me. But I like the magical, whimsical ones too. I keep thinking, no, that's one page. The paper in here is amazing, guys. There's kind of a magical, like almost a Halloween fall kind of thing. You've got like a pumpkin, some crystals. There's a skull here with some candles, like a potion bottle, and then up here. So, I mean, definitely magical kind of Halloween vibes to me. Underwater. This looks like a mermaid. She's got scales, I'm assuming. Scales there. And with fish and things. A unicorn. Again, under one of those cloches. This looks like a bag, like a purse. Some florals. This would be cool. You could have the black background and then do... I recently did a video where I showed how to do like a firefly effect with just little circles of chalk pastel, and you kind of smudge it out and then put like a dot of gel pen, like a pastel, like the moonlight gel pen in the center. But I mean, you can use that same kind of smudged out pastel around the edges here if you did the background black to sort of indicate glowing. These look like lemons. Lemon houses. A rabbit in a teapot house or a coffee pot house. Fawn again in like a bed. It's just, I'm becoming overwhelmed with the imagination and just the beauty of it. Those look great big grape leaves, maybe? And she's curled up sleeping on there. Oh, it's a fairy maybe because she's got wings. Oh. Apple with some arrows through it. That's cool. Looks like a squirrel with a sword. That's awesome. And then you've got like jewels and things that the squirrel is sleeping on. Very cool. Again, just a magical kind of scene there. Girl. Fairy. A peony blossom maybe. More mice. Having a little swim in a teacup. Looks like a... Oh, and it's even got a shower this time. Nice. The mice are upgrading. It's got a bottle of something with a straw in it. So you practice your glass. Crows, ravens. Can make that very kind of fallish and Halloweenish. They've got gems in their beaks. This almost looks like it's keyhole shaped. And then it's like a world through a keyhole. That looks wintry to me. So maybe the other... Where's the other picture? There's another picture and I wasn't sure what was on the rocks. Oh, I'll never find it now. It's a big book. And I wasn't sure what was on the rocks. Was that it? No. But maybe it was snow. No, I'll never find it now. Because I'm thinking maybe this is snow on the rocks. Right? On the top of the mountains and stuff. Gotcha. See, my imagination is so awful that I have a hard time visualizing things, even when other people draw them. I do not have a very good imagination. Is this a hedgehog? I love hedgehogs. They're adorable. We do not have them here. They're adorable. And he's carrying stuff. Oh, Apple House. Polar bear? I'm going to go with polar bear. Or a bear of some kind. With a sweater. And he's traveling. He's going places. Acorn houses. That's very cute. Bird with a crown. Are those cloudberries? I think they might be. They're like raspberries, but a different color. And they grow up instead of hanging down. I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that, but I think those are cloudberries. Ah, double page spread. I think it was the first one. I don't think we had any other double page spreads. But we've got mice here. And just florals and... Yeah. I mean, this could be so... Oh. I'm running out of words. And there we go. Mice sleeping in teacups. They've got some berries with them. Could be a Christmassy thing, but it wouldn't have to be. And it spills just a bit over onto that page. About the author, she's a self-taught Swedish artist and illustrator. Nice. Better Day Books. And that's it. So there we go. A beautiful, beautiful new Fairy Tales and Folklore coloring book. Now, I can link this on Amazon. On Amazon, it does say to be released August 28th, 2024. I think it also says that on Schiffer Books. But and maybe it was a limited time kind of thing, I don't know. But I pre-released this when it was first announced, and I think Emelie shared the Schiffer Books link maybe on her Instagram. And so I went and I pre-ordered, and there was a limited number of pre-orders, and the pre-orders, like I say, came with, I've lost it now, this free little coloring card here, which I can take out. And I didn't realize the pre-order also meant that I would get it early. I did not know. Yeah, so we've got this lovely, I mean, this card is much smoother. So, yeah, I'm thinking I could definitely do this with Pitt pens or with the Stettler pens, and the ink would move really well. Because this is really smooth. Like, to the point it's shiny, almost, right? But, tuck that in there. How wonderful. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it was long, we're over an hour, but you know me. My chatty flip-throughs. So, Enchanted Creatures, Lalita Iyer, I will definitely put a link to that. That is available right away. And I will put an Amazon link to Emelie's book. And yeah, you guys can look forward to that at the end of August 2024. I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone is enjoying their coloring. If you like what you're seeing on my channel, consider subscribing, hitting that like button, notification bell, leaving a comment, letting friends know that you found a channel that you like and they might like it too. Until next time, folks, take care. Bye-bye.